G'day. Today we're reading from Deuteronomy 7. I'm going to read from verse 12. Stick with me. I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to read from verse 12. So here we go. This section is called Blessings of Obedience. Then it shall come to pass, because you listen to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Lord your God will keep with you the covenant and the mercy which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain and your new wine and your oil, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flock, in the land of which he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all peoples. There shall be not male or female barren among you or your livestock. And the Lord will take away from you all sickness, and will afflict you with none of the terrible diseases of Egypt which you've known, but will lay them on those who hate you. Also you shall destroy all the peoples whom the Lord your God delivers over to you. Your eyes shall have no pity on them, nor shall you serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. If you should say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them, but you shall remember well what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt, the great trials which your eyes saw, the signs and the wonders, the mighty hand and the outstretched arm, by which the Lord your God brought you out. So shall the Lord your God do to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet among them until those who are left, who hide themselves from you, are destroyed. You shall not be terrified of them, for the Lord your God, the great and awesome God, is among you. And the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you, little by little. You will be unable to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the fields become too numerous for you. But the Lord your God will deliver them over to you, and will inflict defeat upon them until they are destroyed. And he will deliver their kings into your hand, and you will destroy their name from under the heavens. From under heaven. No one shall be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. You shall burn the carved images of their gods with fire. You shall not covet the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be snared by it, for it is an abomination to the Lord your God. Nor shall you bring an abomination into your house, lest you be doomed to destruction like it. You shall utterly detest it and utterly abhor it, for it is an accursed thing. Interesting. So Deuteronomy was written by Moses. I'm just make sure that there's no that the whole thing's written by Moses. I'm 99% sure it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So written by Moses. And we're reading here basically a promise of what it will mean to the nation of Israel when they obey God. Basically, that they'll have nothing to fear, that the Lord will look after them, and that he will, pass on judgment and the horrible things that we saw happen to Egypt when the Israelites were stuck in Egypt, thrown to the enemies of Israel. Something I thought quite interesting in there. Starting verse 22, it says, And the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you little by little. You will be unable to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. But the Lord your God will deliver them over to you, and will inflict defeat upon them until they are destroyed. Which, I know this is probably not the purpose of this section at all, but I do find it fascinating. That was basically God was saying, to be obedient, and these things will happen. He'll hand over your enemies to you, but not all at once, only one at a time, because otherwise you will not be able to. Ultimately, here, where does it say that? No one shall stand against. Little by little, you be unable to destroy them at once. It's late at night today. Lest the beasts of the field become too numerous for you, but the Lord your God will deliver them over to you, and you will inflict defeat upon them until they're destroyed. So, obviously, it's a blessing when an enemy is overcome, right? Especially when that enemy is overcome by the power of God. It means that a challenge that was facing you is no longer challenging you. I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can take this and apply it to today, and I think there is. I've personally been facing quite a few challenges lately. There's been a lot of things that hit all at once, starting in May, and we're now into June. And while May was sort of just left, right, and center getting smacked down, June has been quite a few heavy hits as well. And I know for a fact, and it doesn't worry me at the end of the day, that there are things that feel like they're undefeatable, because I worship the one true God who sits above everything. And I know for a fact that whatever he wills will be done. I know that for a fact. However, as we saw verse 22, it says, the Lord your God will drive them out little by little. You will be unable to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the fields become too numerous for you. Ultimately, what God's saying here is, I'll hand your enemies over to you, but I'm not going to do it all at once. Otherwise, you'll have a new problem. The beasts of the field will become too numerous for you. So sometimes there are challenges in life, and we sit there and we go, things are very, very difficult, which is fair, and we take them to the Lord, which we're supposed to do. And we can entrust that God will, whatever he decides, whatever his plan is, will play out. And we trust that, that will be for his good and for the good of us and those who love him, of course. But we can't expect to throw it all down and God deal with it all overnight. Sometimes there's a reason God says no. I'm dealing with this right now. I'm dealing with this right now. Sometimes there's a reason that God says no to something. And it's because God is wise and God sees beyond just the suffering now and knows that sometimes if he was to deliver a blessing, such as defeating an enemy, that if it's done at the wrong time or if there's too much at once, then new challenges and new problems will arise. So sometimes, as difficult as it is to see God's plan and to trust God's plan, sometimes it's better to just do it and let go and go, you know what, my human understanding only sees this to not be a good thing. Thank goodness it's not up to my human understanding to make this decision, because I know and I trust that God has a better plan and has a better vision into the future than I do. And I would rather, this is difficult for me, I would rather give up this strategic planning to God fully and entrust that he will do a million times better job than I will, and that it will all live according to his plan. I would much rather that than be responsible for strategic planning into the future for things that I can't see, and bad things will happen as a result. Sure, there might be some short-term good, but again, God knows best. There's a reason. There's a reason for the yes. There's a reason for the no. There's a reason for the not yet. There's a reason for what seems like silence. And it's because God can see and God knows, and God only wants what's best for us, and sometimes what's best for us may not be what we think it is. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Yeah. With that, I will catch you next week, which is July. Which is nuts, because it means we're into the last month of daily vlogging. Actually, technically, we already are. Wild. Anyway, God bless. Again, that was Deuteronomy 7. So, yeah, take care. God bless.